You are now tuned into FNL Radio.
Keep making noise! Keep making noise! Yeah!
Run for cover, motherfucker!
You are now tuned to FNL Live with Doc and Monique. Time to laugh your ass off.
You are now tuned.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to FNL. Well, we're going to do like how shows normally do it. So every show, y'all know, it's not really live. So it may have the tag live on the end of it, but it's not really live. So we're not going to fake the funk with y'all. We tape this show because we're trying to do something different now. You know, each time we have to elevate ourselves and see new things we can do so Monique can get a Google checks. So she's going to try to dame dash me on stage. So
I may have to, nigga, because like I told you earlier before, I'm feeling a little bit like Karen Huger. I'm sick of these motherfucking whack attacks on me. And you're right. I may just have to dame dash your motherfucking ass, because if I don't get my shit, I saw you yesterday, the tail looking fresh, look like you had a brand new clothes to be. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm gonna correct some of that stuff, people, because well, first, okay, it's your boy Doc and Monique is on the other end.
Hey, all my loves, how's everybody doing out there tonight?
So yes, people, this is a tape show, so you'll be seeing some nice little extra fancy features throughout this show. And we're just gonna test to see if we can run with it, and if y'all like it, then I guess we'll go from there. But the live shows are fun and stuff to interact with y'all via Twitter, but we can tape it and still interact with y'all. So we're going to start putting the links to our social medias on down before as well, because I've realized I haven't done that before. I haven't realized, I haven't put down, to follow the Facebook page. Y'all managed to find it on your own, but I haven't put the Facebook page up there for you all to like, as well as our social media accounts. So I'll be putting that up there too.
And I was the one that brought that to the light and brought that to the forefront. But I'll digress.
Yes, people. John Houston on the other end was the one who presented that.
I mean, shit.
Yeah, people. We so as Monique stated, as we do our weekend review. But this week, well, actually, first off, we haven't done the show in a good minute, so we did the BET Awards. I forgot about that already. We did
the BET Awards review.
Yes. So.
But prior to that, we hadn't done a show. We were going to try something also new, where we would do a live chat with you guys while we were watching like a action TV show. The night that we were going to try to do a live chat with you guys, watching, what was it, Black in Chicago, that was June 13th. You guys, my mom passed away, so we were unable to do that. So we had not done an actual show since then. Again, we came back that particular Sunday, the night of the BET Awards, to do a review, and then we did not do. Like you said, we hadn't done anything since then, but that's also something in the works as well, that we want to try to do a like a live chat, like a live watch with us, while we kind of talk and review and kind of read and all that stuff on some of our favorite ratchet reality TV shows as well. So we got some things in the work. Again, we just thank you guys for rocking with us. Thank you guys for bearing with us through the challenges, the pauses, the hiatus. But we are back. We are in full effect, and we're ready to go tonight.
Yes, everybody. So our weekly review. So me and Monique, we met up yesterday because we saw the Whitney movie. So we're going to talk about that later in the show.
And I got on that shit too.
Yes, because and contrary to what Monique said, I did not have a fresh anything. I had a hat on. I believe I had the same hat on my head, and my hair has not been done. Now, I didn't post the pictures, but I did. Well, I think I did. Actually, yeah, last week. Kind of trying to do different things for my hair to try to see how the summer, because the heat is a little different, and my hair actually reacts to humidity and whatnot. So, I had a little. My hair was growing up.
Frizzy, is that what you're talking about? You're in need of? Because you have all the Google checks, so I'm pretty sure you can buy tons of it if need be. But I'll digress. Go ahead.
So my hair has grown a lot. So, I have curly hair, but it shrinks. So I took the blow dryer to it and blow dried it out, and I had a little top bun situation. But I made sure not to post it on Facebook. I know this for Monique is the most. So I'm still trying to let her say anything. Oh, and here's the train, people. But
Get your goddamn ticket. You don't know it.
But so yeah, I had on a shirt that my sister made me for my birthday. She has her own her and her boyfriend have their own clothing line. So they made me a shirt that was personalized that had RCS to my initials on there. So it wasn't nothing fresh nor extravagant. I had on a pair of Arizona shorts I've had for the past 5 years.
Arizona, that's an expensive brand. If you go to JCPenney's and buy it.
When you have a JCPenney credit card and some coupons, they $10. So
JCPenney, you have a JCPenney credit card, but now what for FNL management? So the $4 and some odd change that I spent coming through that toll to get to Norfolk yesterday, that can be charged with your Arizona. Okay.
And so yeah, we're gonna talk about that because when he was calling me some names throughout the movie as well, certain people in the movie was saying, "Oh, that sounds like FNL management." And I said, "You know what?" So we're gonna talk about that later on with our review, everybody. But other than that, like I said, it's been very hot. Actually, it's been pretty cool today and yesterday. So everyone that's feeling the heat wave right now out there in the West, here on the East, everywhere throughout the United States, everybody. Make sure you stay safe and hydrated and don't have no heat strokes out here in these streets. So that's pretty much, well, I haven't really had an eventful week. It's just been full of busyness and work. And 4th of July came around, everybody. So 4th of July, it made the work week go by fast, but I didn't feel like 4th of July this year. I don't know why, but it was just like another.
What did you do for 4th of July? I don't know if I talked to you or not. I can't remember.
I didn't do anything. I think I went to the beach. I did go to the beach. I did go to it's a club there called Lunacy, and it's another club that's called it's where all the niggas at. That's not the Cave. I make sure not to go to the Cave. I've been to the Cave since high school. Kind of not trying to get shot. That's like going to the alley at Newport News.
Okay, don't do it to yourself, nigga.
Monique probably got hitters in these streets, so I made sure to stay clear of Newport News, Hampton Peninsula, that whole area. She might try to get Kenny Wright or whoever the mayor was in Portsmouth, where I didn't live at that time. She might try to get him to hit me with his Mercedes with his fine tags and stuff. But so yeah, we me and a few friends went out, and that was pretty much it. I had my little indoor grill, so I barbecued some stuff on the indoor grill. But other than that,
very expensive.
It was a gift, so I'm not sure it was expensive or not, but it was a gift.
Mm-hmm.
So actually this week, everybody, so I did some drinking last night, but I'm on a detox right now, so I'm drinking water tonight because my best friend Keena from Richmond, her birthday is on 7/11, but she's doing the East Coast tour, so she's actually going to be coming here to 7-5 on Thursday and Friday. So, and she's the person that made me start drinking in college, so we're going to be turning up Thursday and Friday, and then she's going.
Happy birthday, Keena! I know Reggie always talks about you often, and you're a fellow 804 like myself.
Mm-hmm. And then she's I'm going to DC on Saturday because my other friend Tioni has a birthday party in DC, but it's going to be a busy day though because I got to try to figure this out because my family has a Singorama on Saturday as well. It's also the Caribbean Fest in Virginia Beach, and I have free tickets to that. So I'm trying to figure this whole thing out because Keena's going to be in Baltimore and DC area that same night for her tour. Then she's going to Philly Sunday and Monday, I think. So I can't make this Philly trips because I have another trip that's coming up for a vacation in the middle of August. I haven't told Monique about yet because I want to hear her mouth. So I'll discuss it.
For all of these things, white ass. I mean, sounds very expensive if you ask me. I mean, goddamn. I mean, shit. I mean, you are doing the goddamn thing. And again, I guess the FNL Management LLC, Google checks happen to be sponsoring all this, huh?
So how's your week been?
Until I heard this shit. My week was pretty chill, pretty relaxed, pretty laid back. I didn't do anything for the 4th. Because it was hard to do anything because it fell on a Wednesday. So I actually worked a few hours, only because I had missed a lot of time, when my mom passed away. So I worked a few hours, came home, got some much needed rest and sleep. Jaden, my husband, had to work as well. And Jaden had gone over to our neighbor's house across the street because they had a huge cookout. So when I got off work, I went to my neighbor's house to pick him up, and he still wasn't ready to go. My neighbors was like, oh, let him stay. So I came on across the street and took a nap and forgot that my was over there. So, yes, I was saying I have been, have you watched Pose?
I haven't watched it yet. I keep hearing good things about it, and luckily on this episode 6, so I can actually catch up on it this week.
Yeah, so I caught up on it on 4th of July between the many naps that I took, and it's pretty cool. So I like that show. So that's pretty much been my week, just working. Can't say I have as many trips planned as you, but that's just about it. That's all the girl been up to.
So people keep in mind too, I have a nice job, so I'm actually splurging on myself because usually I splurge on other people. So they're not for any FNL income or anything. Don't let the hype fool you. But it's just nice to take a trip, and since I'm not going on a cruise this year or to the Bahamas or anything, so.
Well, speaking of, I did splurge on myself. I treated myself to my first pair of red bottoms.
Look at that, people, red bottoms.
I forgot about that, so I did treat myself to that. That just reminded me of that when you said splurging.
Bloody shoes, everybody. You know how much they cost. So, who's her for a check? So anyway,
and I deserved something. You guys and I had a birthday that passed. I think we talked about that during the
because we didn't do her going to hell and then back to church. So.
And so I had a lot of things go on. So I did treat myself to my first pair of red bottoms. I plan to get a new pair once every year. So that's going to be a tradition I start for myself. But other than that, that's all that's been going on in my world, honey. Again, like I said, can't say I've been planning trips along the way and doing a whole worldwide tour. But if you like it, honey, I'm here for it. You just better be here to do these goddamn shows.
Now, I'm going to tell you all, two people, real quick. So, new music that came out that y'all definitely got to check out, Tiana Taylor's new album, Keep That Same Energy. And one thing on the album that stuck out to me, now, on the album's 8 songs, because the whole good music, they only do 7 songs, but Tiana got away with 8 songs. So her album reminded me of Monique's playlist because album, track number 7, she did a remake of, she just sampled the chorus and she just sang the chorus over, but she did her own remake of Marvin Sapp's Never Would Have Made It. So I'm like, okay, nice gospel moment. It sounds like a Sister Act 2 situation, like Lauryn Hill would be singing, in the choir and stuff like that with Sister Mary Clarence directing and whatnot. Then it goes to track number 8. Track number 8 is a whole dance. It reminds you of the song that's in Pose, a real ballroom kind of record called WTP, which stands for Work This Pussy. I said we go from the church to the club, but we go to the stream club. We talking about Work That Pussy and whatnot. I say, you know what? This sounds like a Monique playlist right here. So,
you got to give her praise while you working that goddamn pussy, okay? If it wasn't for her money, we wouldn't have it to work. All right. So I dig it. I can get down with it. All right.
Of course you can. So so people make sure you support, because good music not doing shit. So make sure you support Tiana Taylor's new album. Keep That Same Energy.
I've heard mixed reviews about that album.
Yeah.
I have to hear for myself though.
Yeah, it's actually good, but they played the fuck out of her though because of the fact that her album was supposed to. Well, Kanye was mixing her album on a plane coming from Paris, and then he kind of some sample clearances weren't done in time, so certain songs got like gaps in it and whatnot. And she said it was a new version supposed to come out last weekend, but it didn't, and some of the stuff still didn't clear. So she just like, fuck it, I don't know when this album coming out too, or this new version of the album coming out. So she just gave up right now. So shaking my head, put all the energy into Kanye. I mean, yeah, the Kanye, the Kid Cudi, the Pusha T, and Nasir Jones and his punching hands, but couldn't get on energy to poor old Tiana. She always getting short end of the stick at good music, but her album is good to me though. So make sure y'all check it out and stream it on.
Maybe FNL Management LLC can manage her and produce the track.
Well, you know, I'm a better, you know, at promotions and advertising and whatnot. That's my specialty. So, you know. But also while we were out, some things happened. So first I've got to give a congratulations to Bone Thugs and Harmony's Wishbone, who got married on, I mean, it could have been the more perfect day. He got married on the 1st of the month. So shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony, 1st of the month. You know, if you listen to the FNL podcast, that's when we used to play, you know, if we did a show on the 1st of the month, we would play the first of the month. So it was very fitting for him to get married on the 1st of the month. Now, I don't know if they played the song at the wedding itself or at the reception or anything, but that would have been more perfect added to it. So congratulations to Wishbone and the bride. His hair, now, I don't think his baby hairs was slicked down. I was trying to look at the picture, very good to see if he had his baby edges laid. They weren't really laid like that. It probably was hot there, but he had a white suit on. She had white on, so it was a all white affair. So hopefully no nigga was busty and dirty and had net ring stains around their collar. So another this Brandy now. Brandy is one of those artists that I just started listening to her music again last week because y'all know how I feel about Brandy. It's an on and off love-hate relationship because that damn shade of hers, like, it's unnecessary. She's still brewing a old age beef. This whole beef been happening since I was Boys Mind came out when I was 8 years old. I'm 28 now, and Brandy, you're still beefing over a 20-year-old situation. So in the next clip y'all about to see, y'all going to see Brandy acting a damn fool. She was out at Essence Fest, and she changed the you know, the last part of the Boys Mind song when the music lowers down and acapella's out. The last note in the song where they say the boy is mine, she said the song is mine. So y'all take a look here and see what we're talking about. All right, and all right. So yeah, she said the song is mine, and I'm like, Brandy, you're like beefing with air right now. Monica Ben said she's gone off the beef. She don't have no problem. She said love, you know, God and all of that. Like, Monica's in a zen zone. But you would make GOONica come out real quick. So you made sure that GOONica came out. So not as long after that clip of Brandy posted online. Monica, now she says she's promoting power. Keep in mind, Moesha, I'm going to say Moesha. Monica does not have a role on power at all. So I'm going to read her caption for you all because you'll see it up here as well, people. So in her caption, she says, and I quote, I'm Dee Dee, aka Draco Denise. I'm sure Cannon got me in this mess. We were childhood friends, and he knows I will be around if he calls. I got a box this morning that's changed everything. I vowed that I was out, but clearly I'm back in. Hashtag power party, hashtag we take it serious. At 50 Cent has to tell most of you, get the strap. He knows his citrus keeps it. Hashtag these aren't props. Tune in tonight. Power, hashtag power my fave show. So I'm gonna show you the picture, but they'll see it. So Monica got the two guns. So Monica got two guns, people, like two big ass guns, a shirt that says get the strap. Brandy, that's a warning call to your fat ass. So now you know.
You know what?
No disrespect and no shade, but Brandy, you making this on yourself. Like, stop with this shit. Monica's living her best life. She still popping. She's still looking good. She's still booking stages and tours and concerts and stuff like that. Yeah, you got your, you know, Brandy, you just got, you know, a regular role on Star for the next season. Yeah, your character, Candace, is I like your character, Candace, on the show. Whenever Brandy, when you do TV, it's actually good. So I like when you do TV. Your music, we haven't heard music from you since I don't know when. Begging and Pleading don't count. So, like, Monica, she don't really have to release an album. She has her husband, she has her kids. She knows who her kids' fathers are. She doesn't have a reputation for.
Now listen. Now you know I like Brandy and I like Monica, but hands down, I'm always gonna stand and I'm always gonna write it down for Brandy. She's one of my faves. So yeah, she also has kids. She may not have a husband, but she does have her daughter. You know, and it's let me tell you this. Let me say this: the year would not go by if Brandy once or twice, maybe 3 times out the year, didn't come for Monica about something regarding that Boy Is Mine song. It just is what it is. You know, she's just always gonna do it.
Exactly, and you were real slick too, Monica, when you named your album Boy Is Mine too. So that was a real slick move too. I'm not gonna lie. But it's like Brandy. Like I said, I love Brandy too. I have all of her CDs. I've been to her concerts back in the day. My sister still have her Brandy dolls. Remember, Brandy had a line of dolls. Like Brandy was the it girl. She had Moesha. She had the dolls. She had the albums, the music, #1 singles. Monica got you up on one #1 single though. Monica had 3 straight #1 singles on the Boy Is Mine album. You only had 2. But that's not here nor there, you know. But it still is like Brandy always had the better albums. You know, I can listen to her albums all the way straight through. Monica,
yeah, she does. She definitely did. She's always had the better albums.
But I still ride with Monica though. I still like Monica, you know, because she still has a great voice as well.
I mean, look at Brandy. She was playing Cinderella with, Whitney Houston. Like you said, she had Moesha when she had her daughter. She had that that special on MTV. You know what I mean? They've had the her and her family have had that what is it, the Norwood show, almost kind of like Braxton Family Values or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you said, she's we can't discredit what she's done. You know, she just petty, and some people just petty like that. You know what I mean?
It's been 20 years, Brandy, and you need to humble yourself because you got off by the skin of your teeth for murder. So
okay. It's a fucking no.
No, Brandy still got me blocked on Twitter, but I'm still like, look, Brandy, like, let it go. Like, Monica sent a clear warning shot. She let you talk too long enough. GOONica is about to come out. GOONica wears all white to funerals. GOONica got the straps right now, so make sure she gave you your warning. I put this on Twitter too, so I put this whole thing on Twitter. Y'all see it up here too, but I put it up there where I said that Brandy, and I put this her saying the song is mine. Then I put Monica, aka GOONica, the Glock is mine. Meet Draco Denise. So Brandy, she said these ain't props either. She made sure that hashtag stood out. So Brandy, you're not in the best shape like you was. So I don't know if you can run away from this from the bullets real quick, but.
And then we're also going to be able to catch Brandy. If you guys have not checked out the trailer for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, she's going to be up there. To my understanding, I guess her roles on that show is going to be a little bit more frequent as well. So
that's all I just want you to bring. I just want you to just humble yourself, because you're a great artist. You paved way for so many people. Sometimes you don't get all your flowers though. So that's why, even though I'm venting how I feel, I'm still giving you your flowers. I'm still giving you your props and stuff. But it's like, damn, Brandy, just let the hurt go. The boy is not that boy is a grown ass man now. He ain't want none of you. So just get over it, Brandy. Like, come on. Like, you still on high school shit. You 40. Come on now. So that's that right there. So now moving on now to our segment of FNL at the movies, everybody. So me and Monique, like we told you at the beginning of the show, we went to go see Whitney yesterday, everybody. Now this was
a out of no fucking laugh, people.
Yeah, yes. Come on, Monique thinks that MacArthur Center. I say it's Hill adjacent. Now Nordstrom's might be leaving the mall. Their lease is up next year, so Nordstrom's leave, then that's when the mall is really going to go downhill. Nordstrom's leave, because that's a big ass location.
Well, actually did go into some of my favorite stores yesterday. When you saw me, I hadn't had a Banana Republic bag. By the time you saw me, got a $40 manicure. But and then after I left you, I went in Sephora and I got some stuff out of there. And then I went into J. Crew and actually got some stuff out of there. They actually had to order it because they didn't have what I wanted in my size. So you guys, I mean, they, like I said, I haven't been to that mall in a very long time. When I was a teenager, and even when I was in college and I came home for the summertime, my mother did not allow me driving through that. So, well, she didn't allow me to drive on the interstate, period. And so, that was the only way to get to Norfolk. So she did not, allow that. So I probably have only been to MacArthur Center Mall maybe like 3 or 4 times throughout my entire 38 years of being on this earth. So
that's fine, because that's the same thing I used to go to now Coliseum used to have the good stores and stuff, but Coliseum was one of those malls you don't stay after dark.
Okay, don't do it.
When the lights are still on and the sun is still out, before the sun sets, you leave Coliseum Mall. I was out there one time and shit was popping off. We had to leave immediately from Montgomery Ward. I remember that Montgomery Ward in the electronics section, and I remember we had to leave immediately because they were shooting out the outside by the Steak and Ale. So we had to go.
I remember the Steak and Ale. There used to be a Bennigan's restaurant. I don't even know how many of you guys remember Bennigan's. But there was a Bennigan's. The coupons for the $3.99 burger and fries. Yeah, they I said, but they have pretty much that mall now is nothing but a total outside mall.
Yeah, and I like it now. But still, it's very well lit out there. But I still am the consciousness of my mind. I don't go dive into Newport News because only a smooth 10 meters away. I make sure I stay on that side of the water and get right back on the interstate to go back to. Okay. But neither here nor there. So we went to go see Whitney, and the one thing I know going into the movie, I was like, okay, now this is a Whitney documentary. The family's behind it, so I'm like, okay, this is gonna be all sugar and cream and like all good, because the Whitney we found out about from the Whitney movie that Angela Bassett produced, that Yala DaCosta was on in Lifetime, that the late Bobby Christina was mad at Auntie Angela about. We learned that Whitney was sniffing the cocoa in the studio off her wrist. Talk about in the kitchen twisting like a stir fry, Yolanda Adams. So, she was, sniffing, saying, Bobby, you want some and stuff like that. So we found that part about Whitney and that. So I was like, from there, what else can we know? Like, we know about everything. But seeing the movie itself, me and Monique in the movie just talking back and forth, everyone in the audience talking too. It was a good amount of us in the audience. And we would like all just some of the things, like some of the video footage they showed. They saw unseen footage before. We learned about her upbringing in church and how she was as a child, and she was getting picked on because she was a little lighter skinned than most of the other people in Jersey. I mean, it's Jersey. I don't step foot in Jersey only but for a certain amount of time too. Jersey is like a full extension of Newport News. I make sure I'm in and out of Jersey. Yeah, right. Shout out to our Jersey listeners.
You have several family members in Jersey.
And I have my brother and sister. They from Jersey. My brother still lives there with his family. I like to go to Atlantic City, but Atlantic City is not safe after night too. Kansas got police there. I got certain friends in Jersey too, but I make a quick appearance. I'm in and out. I'll go to Cherry Hill Mall to go to the mall. After that, I'm paying that $5 across the Ben Franklin back into Philly. But anywho, so yeah, we know.
This documentary definitely left you with a lot of questions that you feel like you must have the answers to. And we also learned what was very interesting. We all knew that John Houston and Sissy Houston, they had been divorced, but we didn't know that old Sissy Honey was messing around, having an affair with the old pastor of the church.
Exactly. We were all, I know in my mind, I always thought that John Houston was the one that was stepping out, but it was Sissy, because we know Sissy got a checkered little past too, because the oldest Gary, that's not really John's son. So it was just like,
yeah, just Whitney and Michael.
Yeah, so it was like,
yeah,
that whole timeline just a little bizarre. So I didn't get enough answers off of that, because I'm still trying to figure out how does he get into the midst, and how does was he born before all of that? John got married to Sissy, and
or he must have adopted him because he has the Houston last name.
It is hyphenated though. So Pat Houston, you're really not a Houston. You just a hyphenated Houston, but you decided to take on the whole Houston last name. But and then
Yes.
I always heard about Donna Houston. That's what's his name? Marlon.
Michael.
Michael.
We assume that was Michael's ex-wife, but she
Yeah.
looks just like Pat Houston. She looks. I mean, they look like they could be sisters, and then no one ever said it. But they looked just alike. Now,
Yeah.
you know, we do know that Gary Houston had been married before because his ex-wife's name is Monique.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not sure how many more times he's been married, but I assume that this lady Donna Houston was married to Michael Houston. I mean, it is possible for two sisters to marry two brothers. That's not uncommon.
Yeah. But they immediately alike, almost same mannerisms, facial expressions, and everything.
They are just alike. So yeah, very bizarre.
Yeah.
But, she was very involved in this documentary, Donna Houston, and we had never ever seen her before in anything. So that was what was ironic. So.
Yeah. And then some of the things we learned too, along with that as well. She had a very prominent Aunt Bay who was in the movie.
She was actually a family friend.
Yeah, just Aunt Bay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the older community, well, us older people, you know,
you
just call them aunt and stuff like that. So we learned that. Did we talk? Well, we didn't do a show, so I don't think we really talked about it. We probably did on a previous show before the BET one, but we learned that Dee Houston sexually, well, I can't even say allegedly because she's dead. All the parties involved are dead.
We talked about this one of our last shows we did when it came out. Yeah.
So Dee, as you all know, that's Dionne Warwick's sister. They say that Dee would at around when Whitney was around 7 or 8, and for a good 2 years, sexually molested Whitney and Gary.
Yeah, she ain't whoa Michael ass.
Yeah, well, he probably roll up on around in the kitchen or something. But we learned that it was around the time Sissy was on tour and stuff like that. It was like where was John at as well? Because I mean, one parent got to at least be home, but apparently nobody was home. And it kind of parallels to how when Bobby Christina, like we learned a lot about Bobby Christina, her growing. And we kind of figured this from watching being Bobby Brown. Like she was always to herself. She didn't really, you know, she was a little chubby little girl. Her older siblings didn't really talk to her and stuff like that. I remember one episode she, you know, complained about that while her parents were acting a fool. But she had to raise herself for a couple of years too, even though she had adults around her. But she kind of had to raise herself too a little bit.
Yeah, they what was I going to say? Yeah, because according to Pat Houston, that was one of the reasons why Whitney Houston was always so hard on her about her, I guess, you know, being on the road and her daughter Rhea behind, because she did not want the same things to happen to her. And like you said, according to Aunt Bay, you know, and Mary, basically, you know, Bobby Christina did not have a very good childhood growing up. And like I said, she was pretty much left to raise herself. She had no guidance, no supervision, because Bobby and Whitney just had so much of their own things going on that a lot of times her needs, her wants, you know, were often neglected because of, you know, what they were doing. You know, they talked about how and I had heard this before because Whitney had talked about it before in the interview that she gave, and I cannot remember who, about how Bobby Brown used to draw like demons and devils.
When she did come back in 2009.
All over the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when she came back with I Look to You. And that whole thing. Demons and devils all over the floor, all over the walls, and they did not want Barbara Christina going in and seeing that. And one day she went into the room, and you know, she saw that. They was just and I guess what I like about them though, even though Whitney Houston was this, iconic legend, you know what I mean? They were just real ass niggas. They were just straight niggas. I mean,
Great Jersey.
yeah, again, the house they showed, the shutters and shit coming out off the goddamn house. And, it just, Michael said they just used to get fucked up. I mean, he used those words, motherfuck this and motherfuck that. That's the way I like to talk.
Uh-huh.
So Jada's dad said today, he said, my mom is one of the best cousins I ever. That's funny. He said he was like, what would I wouldn't pick him up from? He said he was like, yeah, but my mom is one of the best cousins I ever seen. So, they was just real. You know what I mean? They just lived like some niggas.
And it's definitely surprised us again because we thought it was going to be all sunshine and candy because we thought they were trying to preserve her image. But it's like we already saw everything, so we knew it was out there. So they kept it real honest and raw. One employee that was married that she had a conversation with about her being sexually molested, maybe like she could make some good soul food, some good collard greens, and some good pig's feet and some chitlins and stuff like that. She has that very auntie spirit about her too. The other thing we found out about too, we'll talk about Mary a little bit too, because that's the last moment of the movie. So we'll talk about her in a little bit. We also found out about Robin. So Robin was one of the main, not even main focal point, but she was like one of the ones we were trying to hear about. Because we heard so many things about Robin. My aunt, I remember my aunt when she came to VA, she's from Bronx, but she's from Jersey. And I remember she said this, I was about 6 years old. I think we were somewhere in Philly or something like that. And she was like, oh yeah, I know Whitney got this girlfriend and stuff like that. And she got this other girl that she talked to and stuff like that. So I'm like, this round when Shoot and Preacher's wife was out. So I was like, Whitney got a girlfriend, huh? But I mean, it's came to fruition that, Robin and Whitney, and we picked up on this too, as you get older and then you start like, Whitney did one scene where she did an interview and she said, oh, look at Robin. She's very, she's going to be my friend. We're working at a summer camp and stuff like that, or had a summer job and she couldn't find any friends. She was like, oh, look at her. She's, very statuesque and, I was like, okay, that main word there confirmed it all.
Yeah, and again, we never, ever, no matter how many documentaries, no matter how many movies they make about Whitney Houston, we never really see old Robin. And I'm talking about the real life Robin Crawford. Like we've never heard from her, never seen her.
No, because they got hitters on her. So Robin, they tried to have thugs. Because none of the family fucked her.
Because when they asked Gary who was she, he said a motherfucking nobody.
Yeah,
somebody that was just leeching off of them and just wanted Whitney's money and wanted Whitney's puss. But it like I said, it was a whole lot. And they always have stated allegedly that Bobby Brown was jealous of the relationship that Whitney Houston had with Robin, and pretty much he gave an ultimatum: it's either him or her.
So she
gave the ultimatum. It's either, I guess she had enough of Bobby's fuck shit. Mm-hmm. So she was like, it's either him or her. And they said shit, they had Whitney had somebody call Robin. It was like, listen, tell her I'll take her resignation immediately.
Yeah.
So, again, it's just really sad because they said, pretty much after Robin Crawford left, pretty much her dad had full reign and full control over her money, had say so over, what could be done, what couldn't be done. He was taking meetings left and right with people. This is about the time where she took where she did the role. Or she had the part in The Bodyguard. I shouldn't say part. She had the leading role in The Bodyguard. And again, they talked about how that role just, sent her soaring into all kinds of stratospheres. And so her dad felt as if pretty much he should, quote unquote, have a finder's fee. So he started pretty much embezzling money from her. And then
Some people kiss his ring and all of that. Had us cool thinking that him and Sissy were married all this time. Had the company Nippy Inc. And Nippy Inc. was managing Whitney. And then when Whitney got sick, he got sick and stuff like that. And then he was laid up in the hospital bed, like, she owed me money. She didn't pay this and that. So I'm suing her for $100 million from this contract she got with Aerosmith when she signed this new biggest deal in music history at that point. So it was like, then you suing your daughter. I remember that story that came out too.
Yeah, I remember that story as well. And then he passed away. And Whitney did come out that she did not attend his funeral. She saw him like the day before she died.
Yeah.
And like, you know, in private, so she could say her goodbyes and things like that, but she did not want to publicize.
Yeah.
But
this part came out, we were like, well, she didn't go to the funeral, but then it was like, oh, she went to the private. So okay. I was like, I couldn't do that.
They had been estranged prior to that. They kept, begging her, according to Mary. I believe it was Mary. They kept begging her to come and see
Yeah,
him.
it was Mary.
And she would not. And he kept stating that she wasn't coming. And she, wouldn't come. And then I guess like literally right at the end, she ended up coming. And then I want to say passed away the next day.
Yeah. And then we also learned that Whitney was, although she was #1 on the charts and stuff like that, because they tried to do Whitney and Mariah, they tried to make them the Brandy and Monica before Brandy and Monica were beefing. They tried to make Whitney and Mariah beef because they were both the 2 top singers in R&B and pop. They both were, had the voices and stuff like that. So they tried to pit them against each other until they did the When You Believe for the Prince of Egypt soundtrack, and then they were friends for years, even up until her death. So,
and I think, and Deborah Cox was also kind of up and coming in the era as well.
And they were all friends. And I remember in the movie when Whitney and Sissy, now this one we knew, like at the beginning of the movie, knew Sissy was like, okay, we side on her right now because you keeping with the minister. But then Sissy,
yeah, they had some videos.
Now she might have been under the influence too, or something, because she was talking all type of Cash Money shit.
The influence.
She was saying,
she was calling Janet Jackson all kind of bitches. And
like
she
fuck that bitch and stuff like that. Like,
don't need to be like her. Let her have that shit.
Yeah.
You got something special, but then to give a Sunday school lesson, God got something in store for you. You got something special. God gave it to you. Can't nobody take it away. I mean, and that was true. I guess at that point in time, they were trying to get her to become more mainstream, and get back to her, like you said, her hood rich side. And I guess they were telling her she need to look and act a certain way, and Janet Jackson was popping, and they kind of felt like she was slowly dwindling away, and old Sissy was not here for none of that shit. And then I guess when Houston had some things to say about Paula Abdul, she ain't real. The bitch can't hold a note.
All keep on the record, and that she got an image, but it ain't her image. I say you talking all this Cash Money shit. You probably smiling in these people's face too. I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of her and Paula together, and then Janet and Michael and Whitney were friends. That's Michael's sister. So you're talking passionate shit about your friend's sister. Like, that's some hood Jersey type shit right there. But it was entertaining for us. But Whitney was a little bizarre in that scene too, because she, like, when she went and started laying on Sissy after that, it was like she was making these noises and stuff. I was like, now.
Yeah, they all made it.
All y'all under the influence of something.
Robin Crawford, I believe, was the one that was taping it. She was kind of, I don't think she was doing anything. But
because Sissy didn't like Robin to begin with, so it's like you were cool enough. You must have been high on something to be cool to have Robin in the same room with you and Whitney. So that whole scene was crazy. Cause again, I think they were trying to, because with this Whitney, Whitney had dance records, but she never really danced in the dance records. But when she was on stage, she tried to cut a little 2-step here and there, and Whitney wasn't a dancer. She couldn't really pop and stuff, but hey, she could sing her ass off. We saw.
That's what people came to see. They didn't give a shit if that bitch was twerking or not.
Exactly.
All they wanted to see was they wanted her to sing, and she sang down and sang her face off up until
that last tour. So a lot of people thought Clive Davis was bad, during the whole comeback era and stuff like that. But Clive was even begging Whitney, don't go on tour. But we didn't know Whitney was that dead ass broke that she had to do a show.
Yeah, well, they talked about, and let's talk about okay, so they showed some snippets and they showed some things about being Bobby Brown.
Mm-hmm. The fires of
yeah, because that was after The Bodyguard, and that was when Whitney's career like really took off and soared. And so again, and I remember, and I've heard this several times, and again, this is not necessarily a myth. They said that Bobby Brown was jealous of her notoriety, her fame, her success. Yeah, he was jealous of her career. And so what she wanted to do is she felt bad. So she started to take a back seat. And let him get in the limelight. They stated at one point she even allowed him to manage her, but that is not what he wanted to do. He really wanted to be on the stage performing, but he really wasn't booking gigs like that, wasn't booking shows like that, couldn't get a decent album. So that's when, she agreed to do being Bobby Brown. They begged her, like family members, some of her managers begged her not to do the show because it just was not a good look. And like you said, it was a big old key for us, honey. I still remember this one particular episode where they was high as a motherfucking kite. And they were somewhere. And they was talking about, they were all with the kids. They were outside and they were with the kids. I don't know if they went on a camping trip or something, but they were outside with the kids. And they were talking about Bobby Brown's son. And they were actually, they were talking about Bobby Brown's son and how he looks like, and she was talking about her dad, and she kept saying, he looked just like Pop, don't he? He looked just like Pop. He favors Pop. I was like, well, bitch, how is that true? Because that ain't your damn son. So how does he look like your damn bitch? That is not his brain. And I was like, oh, they are really awesome shit. I mean, they were high as a as a kite. They showed them pictures of her. She walk around with them visors on. They would go places in public and she would just break out and started singing. They would be dancing and humping on each other. Just all of those type of things. But supposedly they called it Brown Productions is what they called it. Who?
Brown House.
Yeah, Brown House Productions. What man that was in charge of Brown House Productions is now a psychotherapist.
Yes.
But I guess when you work with Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, it probably makes you want to explore, basically and look at psychology and sociology on a whole motherfucking different level.
That's enough psyche to go through already.
Hell to the fuck yeah. So, again, they talked about how you and I talk about this often, the Star Spangled Banner. When she sung, it was during a time where the Persian Gulf War was going on, and pretty much when they arranged the song for her, they had it, they kind of had in mind how Marvin Gaye sung his arrangement of the Star Spangled Banner. And so they arranged it for her. They sent it to her like months in advance. And I think and they didn't say it, but I think like she was partying, getting high. She never listened to it. When she touched down, they were like, okay, they met her at the airport or met her at on the runway or whatever. And they was like, okay, well, did you listen to it? She's like, oh no. So then she asked them to play it, and then she was like, okay, I got it. And so they was like, okay, well, do you feel like you need to rehearse it? Don't you want to go over it, or you don't have any questions about it? Is it too high? Is it too high? Anything? She's like, no, I got it.
Yeah.
And she went out there and she sung the fuck out of that damn song.
That's it. Saying the fuck out of that experience. It was one of the best. That's my national anthem. If you gotta listen to it.
Yeah. And then that song, they started playing that song on the actual radio as a single. So I mean, my goodness, you know, she is. I mean, she's just iconic. You guys know how we feel about old Nippy. What else did they talked about, you know, pretty much how she, and this was more so towards the end. They talked about how she, you know, and again, we saw all those stories and things like that about, you know, her in and out, and just even Bobby Brown. They, you know, stated, you know, because he was jealous of her, you know, success and of her success, he started, or which they believe that he purposely started to get in trouble more, doing things to get, caught by the law to stay in the headlines. And we have seen many of clips of her in court with him. And you know, is that special particular clip where she's in the court disrupting the whole court, and she's talking out. So, you know, and then you guys know that's how Phaedra Parks actually became famous as well. She represented him and actually got him off during one of his many charges. So, you know, they talked about pretty much how they tried to get her to go to rehab. She wouldn't go. Yeah, all the interventions that they staged, and she wouldn't open the door. Just a lot. And then they said pretty much, and this is again towards the end, she left New Jersey, her home in New Jersey. She stated she was going to visit some friends in Atlanta, and all of a sudden she called back and told Sissy that she wasn't coming back to New Jersey. Was going to be now residing in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, and that's when you really start seeing her really parent Bobby Christina, because again, we didn't know that. I'm gonna talk about this in a little bit, because it's going to all try to tie in with what I'm trying to understand about the whole situation at the end. But we saw again where Whitney was going with the last, you know, her last tour overseas, because she never toured here in America. She was supposed to. And good thing she didn't, because we would have not had a good amount of favor for her, like the overseas people. At least they walked out. Well, I don't know what people would have done in America if they saw Whitney singing like that. But I remember seeing YouTube clips, and on the old version of the docu report, I used to post about it, like Whitney can't sing this date and stuff like that. I used to talk about her, but it was out of love though. Kind of like, Whitney, don't be out there singing like that. Lip sync or something. Hit, you know, sing to an old 25-year-old recording. Don't sing what you sing right now, because your voice is very struggling. But YouTube was so low quality back in 2009. That was just, you know.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So now when we see it in the theaters and we listen, I'm like, well, Whitney, I don't remember it sounding this bad. I know it was bad then, but shit, in this ultra audio now, this shit is Whitney. No. So, and it feels bad because you, like, all the stuff that she's been through. So it could have been steroids from, like, she probably had to take some medications that could have ruined her voice and bloated her up. The amount of cigarettes she was smoking, the drugs. But even when she was cracked out, she was still hitting them notes back then. But you could tell when she started to lose her voice around 2002-ish time frame, what the A&R said when he was working with her for 4 years, and they only recorded like 2 songs. So
and he was like, you know, anywhere she told him to go, she, you know, he was excited. And I think he said when they was out there for like 3-4 months that she had him out there, and she recorded like 2 or 3 songs, and that was it.
Exactly.
So, you know.
But we know it was that bad financially for her during that last album that, you know, of course she had to come out with new music. The album debuted at #1. It was a cute little album and stuff like that for her return.
$1 Million Bill is like my all-time favorite song on the album.
Yes.
And then you guys all know the Pete Piper himself. He wrote "I Look to You," which was a very nice song. You know, it was kind of putting her back into her gospel roots. I think she sang that song a few different times with like Kim Burrell on a few different award shows and stuff like that. And you know, we thought that she was going on back, because apparently they also at one point she was in rehab and she ran out of money to
Yeah.
continue, and
Yeah.
so she had to come on back home.
And finish it. So it's like if that last bit of money would have helped her to stay a little bit longer, and then she started doing Sparkle. Now Sparkle, I remember she was talking about that back in 2000. She had a production company, Brown House, and actually she produced. I don't know if y'all know this or not. Here's a little tidbit, but Whitney actually produced, and her producing partner Deborah Chase Martin, who we saw in the movie too, but they actually produced A Princess Diaries 1 and 2 with Anne Hathaway, and they actually did Cheetah Girls, all the Cheetah Girls movies. So she was banking in some coin from there. It was a matter of where the money was going to. She then had the receipts for where she's buying her stuff from. So
yeah, they showed the infamous, and I told you that, I mean, at least like 2-3 times out the year, I always look at that Diane Sawyer interview.
It's that Diane interview and the Wendy interview I always listen to. Kind of like that was such a time for Whitney.
When she got Wendy Williams out. Yeah, so that they did not talk about in the documentary. Yeah. That's another interview I won't never forget either.
Yeah. But they were talking about Sparkle. Sparkle, she wanted Aaliyah to play in Sparkle, but then unfortunately Aaliyah died in 2001, so she couldn't find her right Sparkle until 2011. Or was it 2011? Yeah, 2011. And then she picked Jordan Sparks. She shot the movie, and she was looking at a way because the music wasn't there anymore. Her voice is gone. Around that time, she was also, before that, she was trying to regain her voice back, doing swimming lessons, trying to get her energy back up, trying to get her voice back in shape. But she did the Sparkle movie thinking that would research her career, that would make people say, okay, well, here's Whitney, the actor who we know from Bodyguard, Waiting to Excel, her wife. So it was trying to get her back in that zone. And that BET, her and BET show the movie every once in a while. So it's, it's good in that movie.
It's the song, quite often, yeah.
Yeah, even when she did her His Eyes on the Sparrow, it was like, okay, she was trying to get back.
And that was actually did pretty good with that. And they said, and they were talking about how, they could tell that she was attempting to get back on the right path. She would be in her trailer, and it would be like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. The gospel music will be just blaring, and, she would be praising God and, reading her Bible, quoting scriptures and things like that. And, they stated, even after she would shoot her scenes, she just didn't run off and leave. She would, hang out, she would stay, she would take pictures on set and things like that. And just, she was interactive. She wasn't, closed off and and again, the young lady, like I said, her directing partner, she did stay, because, that Sparkle was a T.D. Jakes movie.
Mm-hmm.
And your fellow classmate.
Oh.
But they talked about how she felt like Whitney really did not want to leave. Because she stated that she thought that Whitney, when they wrapped and everybody was supposed to go home, she thought that Whitney had left and gone home, and she didn't. She said, in fact, Whitney told her she wasn't ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
She stayed at 2 extra days, maybe 3 extra days.
And then when she went back to Atlanta, that's when things started going downhill from there. The next thing we know is Grammy weekend. Mm-hmm. That good party.
But what we did not talk about, well, I guess we'll tie that in when we talk about Bobby Christine.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, the next thing it was Grammy weekend, and
that's when everything happened. Mary said that she went down to get her Whitney's favorite cupcakes. When he was in the tub brushing her hair and stuff like that. She said she wasn't gone but 30 minutes. Now, I'm trying to figure out now. Bobby Christina wrote a note to Whitney when because she was in that teen angst age, and and at one point her and Whitney weren't getting along before Whitney started being a parent/friend, because you could tell Whitney was being that parent/friend. Make up and compensate for all those years that she wasn't really there in Bobby's life, because Bobby Christina smoking cigarettes with her, they partying and stuff like that, going to concerts and events together. But so they became like inseparable at one point when Bobby and Whitney divorced. But she wrote a note at one point to Whitney like, "I hope you die," and all of this. So I was like, Bobby Christina, did you kill your mama in the tub?
because they stated that she wished there was a way that she could kill her and nobody found out that she was the one that actually did it.
Exactly.
So yeah, she it's obvious she had a trouble past as well. It's just, and again, and you guys know, those clips surface that the day before they found her in the tub where she had gone to that party, Kelly Price's party, and they stated that she was out there fighting over Ray J.
Which they didn't put in the movie at all. I wish it would at least.
They didn't talk about that, and how we all saw those pictures she had on that black dress. She looked disheveled. There was blood coming from her leg
And stuff. Real Jersey that night.
Yeah, you could see Pat Houston trying to rush her out. And then they say, also she had some bizarre behavior earlier in the day. They said that she was in the swimming pool. Remember, they said she was in the swimming pool. She was swimming, I believe, with all her clothes on.
Yeah.
And she saw, who was it, Monica? Somebody she saw in the lobby.
Monica, the person, Brandy, they were filming and doing the Boys Mind at the Kai Davis party where they were supposed to.
Yeah, and she saw her, and she was, talking very bizarre. Her wig was wet because, again, like I said, they said she had got in the pool with all her clothes on. She was saying, I think she was saying that Monica was supposed to be Bobby Christina's godmother or godsister, something bizarre. She saw Clive Davis earlier that day as well, and they just, thought that she, might have been maybe under the influence of something, which obviously she was.
Now, it's a lot of things to try to tie around because in the movie, Mary, like I said, Mary said that she went to get some cupcakes, came back not 30 minutes later. The lights were off, but she was like, "Where's Whitney?" So she tipped around the, like a horror scene, like a horror movie scene, tipped around the, corner of the bathroom, and she saw Whitney face down in a tub. So I'm trying to figure out, because I have a very inquisitive mind, so I'm trying to gather all the thoughts together to try to figure out, one, did Whitney get out of the tub to turn the lights off? Because I remember they said, she took the drugs and stuff like that, so it was like, did she take the drugs prior to getting in the tub and stuff like that? I remember I think they found the spoon or something, so it was like, did she take something while she was in the tub? It's like a lot of things. And
they're also stating that she had heart failure.
Yeah.
But, I guess it's hard to determine whether or not she actually possibly had the heart attack in the tub, which may have caused her to fall over, or if it was the drugs that she took that induced the heart attack or the heart failure.
Yeah, I know you have to drown for at least a good amount of time before your body just like loses its stuff and you just, float over. But it's like the tub can't be that big. We saw the tub.
Well, now, according to Mary, when she walked around the corner, the water was up to her ankles.
Now, I know now that's impossible, Mary, because you look like you got thick ankles. So I'm trying to figure that out. But
you know what?
But she, was, it was like, okay, so what really happened? No one will ever know. There weren't any cameras or anything. But it's just one of those things where it's like, to see that part of the movie, that's when it was like, became sad all over again. I remember where I was when I heard, the story. I was at work, and I remember on the radio, they announced that. I was just like, damn, not Whitney. And especially when it became the demon that was haunting her for so long, they made a mention at the beginning of the movie and at that part of the movie too, where, she had dreams where there was this spirit chasing her, and her mom would say that's just a demon and stuff like that. And she would wake up out of breath, and she would be like, the demon didn't catch me this time and stuff like that. And she'll wake up out of her sleep, and it's like the demon, the same demons that been fighting, going towards her for so long, kind of finally won in a sad way. So it was, it was very, very sad. And, they show a lot of scenes where when she burst onto the scene on the Merv Griffin show, her modeling upbringing and stuff like that. I think one of the other sad things too was the fact that Robin never got that closure, her or Robin, because they were so much the best of friends. And then with the Bobby marriage and stuff like that, Robin was kind of pushed out. it's, you know, we don't know if Robin, if she was still around, what have happened. Would she had a better life? Would she still be around? Would, you know, they kept the drug. Well, I would say Robin more than likely kept that drug, you know, game under lock for Whitney, where it was like she had some way to control Whitney to not overdo it, because we didn't see Whitney with a lot of bizarre behavior until we saw these videos, like the one scene where she was eating Popeye's chicken in that gown, and acting a little bizarre too, and at the bar, the greatest of all, with smoking a blunt. So
yeah, it seemed like to be her and you know, her and Bobby Brown, and they were high. And it also makes me wonder if Pat Houston ever was under the influence of something as well. Now, I'm not saying she is, and I'm not saying she was. You know.
And I still got to see if Pat was still camp paneling these candles, because remember, Pat made some candles and she had Whitney starting the infomercial before she died. So I haven't heard much from those candles. They didn't mention anything about Nick Gordon. I guess they can't right now still.
Yeah.
A lot about Bobby Christina's death, you know, how it would correlate, but they just made a little small blurb like in 2015, or in 2017. Was it 2017 or 2016?
I think it was 20s.
Well, it was so long. I think it's been 2 years now, so I think it was 2016.
2016.
Yeah, when Bobby Christina unfortunately passed away in the same manner. We need answers around that too. Not enough answers with our questions that we have. That's not a story for another day. But you know, again, it was such a, you know, and if one thing was very contradictory, where Whitney held up the "say no to drugs" sign, I was like, now you know what, you was a DARE spokesperson, and there you dare smoking crack, okay, but overall it was a beautiful movie, and it's like, okay, if, you know, maybe she would have announced herself as bisexual or something, or, you know, how every artist now, it's okay for you to explore men and women, but back then it was like, no, Whitney's the, you know, she's like the American queen, like she can't do that. And we know about these two.
There was a part in the documentary where she was doing an interview and they just straight out asked her, was she gay? And she was like, no, I'm not gay. The only time I'm gay is when I'm
I'm like, okay. And she was very, I don't remember those interviews, but now looking back, I remember she used to be on Arsenio Hall a lot, but I guess the child me wasn't thinking too much to her interviews. I just wanted to see her sing. But she used to be like, she, you know, was dating this person that Robin DeVito tried to get at her. We didn't know she had this one fair-skinned fella as a boyfriend, Brad Johnson.
Yeah, and I remember the relationship with her and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, because Bobby got mad at Eddie, and she couldn't do anything around Eddie at all, you know. And she was like, I respect our relationship, me and Bobby's relationship, so I can't say anything about Eddie at all.
Yeah, so I do remember that. But like you said, all in all, great documentary. So you guys, if you guys have seen it, you know, drop it down below in the comments. You guys let us know what you guys think about it. We pretty much told what happened verbatim.
But you guys see it, you know, like, this is something you gotta actually see yourself, like, no, like the movie that, you know, Lifetime did with Yada DaCosta, it really doesn't. That was just a movie, but to actually see everything with Whitney herself, to see the behind the scene, unseen footage, the home videos, the stories that were told, the things you can actually see Whitney doing it.
And they show, and you guys know recently, we talked about this very recent, that whole Pusha T album. They showed that bathroom. They, you know,
Bobby's sister in the corner looked like a pit bull, like in that sweater, knowing that she did it. They're talking about we smoked crack together, and I wasn't trying to send the pictures our crack for help.
And you know, they you know, talked about, we all remember this too, when they did that Michael Jackson tribute, and she was like definitely thin, and it was very scary. And then there was the picture of her in that fur coat.
That was her. Now I remember that picture too, because that's when I knew shit was really bad, when she was in that fur coat in the gas station convenience store, but willfully taking pictures. I'm like, now that's when you know you're high as fuck, because you would not take pictures in that state of mind. Now, one thing I would say about Whitney though, she had a wig for every occasion. I remember growing up thinking that was her hair, but the only time we ever saw Whitney's real hair in life was probably on the first album cover. But Whitney had a wig for every occasion. She had a wig for every. It was all a good movie, everybody. So make sure you check it. It's in theaters right now, everybody. I think the theater count may be going up next week or in the next 2 weeks. So it's not in your theater now because we had to find this theater. So it's not every theater right now, but I'm pretty sure it'll be in more theaters. Again, rave reviews. It's got an A score for the cinema score. So that means very well liked movie, and it tells the truth about Whitney. So make sure y'all see it, everybody. And so we pretty much talk about everything for y'all. And again, we're trying this new edited show, so we hope that it does good for you all. But we definitely thank y'all for watching this show, everybody, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I had to make sure I put that in there. For
Jenny, would you stop? Stop. Okay, people.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.